Freaks and geeks of horror.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Freaks and Geeks of Horror podcast. This is episode 7. We are covering Shaun of the Dead today.
Yo.
Everybody's here. Richie, Nick, Paolo, myself. But before we get going on it, I have a little gift for everyone.
Say what?
Because this is a very special movie to us. So we need to
Let's
represent.
All right.
And these are all tangled up probably by now. There you go. Don't choke yourself out.
All right. Oh, these are fancy ones, too.
They're
Fancy
okay.
quick ties.
How do you do it?
Oh.
You should have.
There it is.
There we
Don't
go.
choke yourself out. Watch,
right.
I'll be the one to screw
Hell
it
yeah,
up.
dude.
All
Perfect.
right.
Now
Great
I
idea.
feel ready.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
There's a little bit of Shaun in all of us.
Yes, there is.
Yeah. So Richie chose this movie, and I find nothing to dislike about this movie. It's a great movie, but why
Yeah.
did you choose this movie?
You know, this movie this movie was made or released in 2004.
2004.
And you know, it's one of my favorite movies. It has a little bit of everything that I love: comedy, love story, zombies. How can you not love it? You know,
Yeah.
it's one of those things that it's like there had to be a time that we were gonna pick it. I'm happy we're doing it earlier than later. Like, you know, there's just so much different movies that we're gonna be going through. But Shaun of the Dead is one of those like staples that I'm like, it needs to be part of our podcast. It needs to be something that we talk about. It just, for me, it's like just a movie that at the time that I was like really getting into like film and stuff, just like watching film and stuff. This is one of the movies that was up there, you know what I'm saying? Like the early 2000s. And I'm like, I have such a connection to this movie that I'm like, oh, we have to put it out there. I think now it's like 20 years old, right? So
Yeah, it's crazy. I wanted to call it a modern classic, but then I was like, yeah, dude, it's like 20 years old. It's like,
It's
is that
crazy.
modern now?
I saw it
That's
on
kind of a
DVD.
classic in itself at this point.
dude, I have the DVD. It's
Say what?
crazy. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have the DVD of it. I've had it for a long time. I watch it pretty frequently, at least like once or twice a year, no matter what. And yeah, it's definitely like one of those movies that I needed to pick. And it basically, this movie follows Shaun, right? Shaun, that's the main character. He has his buddy Ed.
Yep.
And his girl Liz.
Liz.
Yep,
You know what I'm
yep,
saying?
yep.
So it's like that's the story. They basically like trying to create a game plan to stay safe during the zombie apocalypse basically that's happening. But there's so much different like pinpoints through the whole movie, man, that I have like there's so much notes and so much stuff that I wanted to do, but kind of don't really want to get too much into the notes of it. But there is a timeline to it, right? There's a timeline to the whole movie. And basically like it starts off amazingly though, because it's like, it starts off with I believe it's that little noise from Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, right up front.
Yeah.
Right,
Right
up
up the
before
front.
we
It's
see
like,
any scene.
There's
Yeah.
no scene whatsoever. Like the small, like kind of
The
like
credits are coming
credit
through,
producer stuff
producer
like that.
tags and stuff are coming up.
You know, they have the is it Land of the Dead or is it
I think you're
Day
right.
of the Dead? Day of the Dead?
You said Dawn of the Dead. I think you were right.
It was Dawn
Yeah.
of
I
the
think
Dead.
it's
Yeah,
Dawn
pretty sure,
of the
right?
Dead.
One of them.
All of the Deads, right?
I mean, there's so many nods and tips of the hats in this movie. It's really
It's a tribute.
it's quite
It's
a
an
tribute.
homage.
Yeah,
You know
and
what I'm saying?
it's you could tell that Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg love not only horror movies but kind of a wide variety of movies, and I think that really shines through. It's kind of like for it being a quote unquote horror movie, it's got like a ton of heart in it. It's got a ton of personality.
100%.
They don't care that you're not going to get every little reference because it's for them.
It's for
If
them.
you find it, cool. But it's a movie that you could tell that they wanted to make. And that's refreshing.
And one of my the first thing that happens in the movie, it's basically like a close up of Shaun, and it just starts with specials. Ghost Town.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Such a good start.
That
Great
made
setup.
me like,
Yeah.
what? You know what I'm saying?
It's a
Especially
great
like that was
song.
the jam, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, that's the first thing that comes out in this movie. I'm like, I already love this movie.
Little
Yeah.
spooky.
The first thing that happens is that scene. And I'm like, I love this movie. I love this movie already. You know, the first scene is basically an introduction of the characters, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you go through there and it introduces basically like Shaun, Ed, Liz, Dee, and David, right?
Yeah.
And it's basically like Ed is Shaun's friend, and Dee and David are Liz's friends.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like the whole concept of it. You have his buddy, basically, like they're like bros, right? Like it's
They're
like,
bros.
They're bros, and they have a lot of. It's a good connection, comedic connection that they have.
Oh yeah.
And it's like. From the beginning to the end, they're just cracking jokes. Like even the last scene, we'll talk about it later. But it's like from the beginning to the end. Even when he's about to turn, when one of them is about to turn, like it's just comedy. Like they're just dropping these like nugs, and you're just like, oh my god, these fools are hilarious together.
Yeah.
There's such a good combination. And I'm like, honestly, like that chemistry, I feel made this movie better than it could have been. It could have been worse. It could have been not that great, but their connection made that movie that much more better.
Yeah, you could tell that they were roommates, I guess,
Roommates,
beforehand.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
they're just total friends.
They're
said
buds,
that-
They said like their living situation in the movie was supposed to mirror like how they were in real life, because I guess they lived together, and it was like the same exact
just
setup.
kind of borderline losers, just kind of jobs to get by and
Going through the
just
motions.
playing video games.
Yeah, life is
and-
easy, life is simple, but we're also not making any progress. Like I think that like a lot of the character flaws are really like shoved at you right at the beginning of the movie, but you still find these characters so lovable at the same time.
When he's in the
Like,
store and he's like,
They're relatable.
I want to do
Relatable.
things with my life too, and the guy's like, when?
Yeah.
It's like, I get
He's
it.
just like, ooh.
So even so the first introduction is of the friends, but it's also the introduction of the Winchester. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yep.
It's basically the pub that they're hanging out at, the pub that everything always goes back to the Winchester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which also played kind
For
of
good or bad.
a kind of a true role for them too, because I think growing up not growing up, but when they were roommates, they had a bar not called the Winchester. It was called
The
something.
Shepherds.
The Shepherds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But basically, it was a bar that they would constantly default to and go and hang out at, and that's what they made.
The Winchester.
The Winchester, man, I couldn't think of it.
I
Thank
think
you.
Edgar
Saved
Wright
me.
was saying too that like, because it seemed like they've all been acquainted for a while, right? That the movie
Right.
Spaced like a few years prior, but he would try to take Simon Pegg and Nick Frost to a different bar to unwind or whatever, and they wouldn't do it. They're like, nope, Highlands. By the way, when I do British accents, they turned Australian, so just there's that. All right, moving on.
So yeah, so basically you
should do
start
that a lot.
following you start following these characters, and it's basically the next introduction of the movie is basically their home introduction, right? They go home. They're trying. He's trying to set up a date for him and Liz to be like together alone, basically, because they're always at the Winchester with their
Right.
friends, and she's kind of getting annoyed of it,
Yeah.
right? So it's like that's the romantic part of the movie. It's like the girlfriend, the boyfriend, she's getting annoyed that it's like he's never really following up on plans or like
Yeah.
on things, and basically what's happening is like, don't worry, I'll set it up. So they go home, and he's kind of like forgets about it, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like instead they're like playing video games. They're doing a bunch of stuff that's not related to what he needs to do, and it's set up the date that
Yeah.
he needs
And then he
to.
goes to work and he just kind of
Yeah,
spaces
yeah.
on it.
But then he meets his roommate, right? His roommate, because the door is always open for some reason.
yeah.
I'm saying it was Ed.
It was Ed definitely that left the door
I
open.
bet it was Ed.
Well, actually,
Yeah.
it winds up being Shaun. I think they kind of nod to that later, because eventually when Shaun comes back into the house,
You're 100% right.
You see it's open, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh, it was Shaun the whole time, and Shaun was just letting Ed take the fall for
I
it.
think it goes full circle.
Yeah.
I did not notice
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it goes
full circle.
I've seen this movie so many times. Not once have I noticed that.
This movie's full. That's kind of the great thing about, and why what makes a good movie rewatchable is all these little itty bitty details. You know, like from little things like that to just. I don't know. They're all throughout the movie. There's so many little itty bitty things that are so easy to miss, and just they're all throughout. And it's 82 minutes or something.
It's-
They pack
yeah.
all these little details into this no fat, just everything's
Perfectly
Yeah,
paced.
it's
good,
very
little,
tight
perfect
movie.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tight movie full of Easter eggs.
That's the great thing about this movie. So then they go, and it's when it's basically he goes to work, right? Today, you find good characters throughout the whole movie. What's the co-worker's name? Did anybody catch that?
The little kid.
The kid who keeps jamming him up.
I forgot his name.
Me too. He's the one who called Ed earlier. He's like, no, I called him. He's only got Henry.
Yeah. I didn't realize that until this most recent watch. And I was like, he was probably just talking to
Henry.
the customer about the Henry.
So
Henry.
basically, this guy's always like kind of like dogging him a little bit, especially because he's like young and he's older, and so it's a fun little character, throws a lot of jokes because basically Shaun's saying that he's like, when I'm at work, it's all about work, and then all these stuff start happening. Like Liz calls him and she's like basically trying to remind him or trying to set up a different time or remind him about the date.
He's reminding him
confirming
because it's their anniversary.
It's their anniversary.
Like a week ago, it was their anniversary.
And he didn't do anything.
And they're like, "What'd you do?" And he's like, we just hung out at the Winchester.
Went to the Winchester.
Like,
so
doesn't
that's
sound so good saying.
So that's the reason. And then basically what happens was that he's he's trying to set up. He's like kind of like whatever, because he's like not trying to pay attention to her because he's like trying to prove to this kid that it's. Nothing's personal. It's all when he's at work. It's all about work.
It's all about work.
And then out of nowhere, his stepdad is right there, and he's like, "Oh."
Philip shows up, and it's just like, "Oh, he wants to talk to you."
When he's on the phone though, he's like, "That was Liz from the head office." So like, while she's trying to like confirm a reservation, he like jeopardizes his relationship to look cool to this kid, which doesn't fucking help.
Yeah.
They still don't respect him.
No, that was hilarious.
Yeah, it's like the moment that ends up making all the difference in his relationship. Is like
100%.
blowing off that call.
He missed that message, and then she called him. She's like, "Hello," and he's like, "Yes, it's good." It's good.
Yeah. Just totally trying to play it cool in front of this kid.
Dude's just staring at him.
10 years younger than him. It's just like, who cares?
Yeah, why does he care so much about this kid's opinion?
Well, I think he's trying to see himself like as an example. He's trying to see himself because quite frankly,
respect.
He's on the same level as that guy. Up until that point, he is kind of a loser. It sucks to say. He does redeem himself eventually, and he becomes kind of a better person throughout the movie. But in the beginning, he's like not very attentive or worried about what his girlfriend is feeling with any of this. Doesn't do anything with the anniversary. He's kind of screwing up. He's kind of at this job that these other teens are at that don't give a crap either, and it's not looking super great for him. And I think he's at that point in his late 20s.
Yeah. Oh, I think he's in his 30s, I think.
No, 29.
He's in his 30s.
I thought it was 29.
Oh.
It's a hard 29, but it's 29.
It's
a British 29.
It's a British 29.
So it's like, and that's where he goes, "Got red on you," or something like that.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
The pen.
His pocket
His
started
His
bleeding.
pen started leaking.
Yeah.
So that's always kind of go back to that, because even when he's attacking zombies, that's got some red on.
Yeah.
There's lots of callbacks in this movie.
Yeah.
Hey, good call. Yeah, I didn't catch
It's
that.
foreshadowing, and it just keeps on coming up.
Over and over. And that's the cool thing about it. And then, of course, the breakup happens because he didn't set up anything. He goes to her house. She's like, "I'm done." She hangs up on him. He goes to her house. He basically is like, "Let me in." And they're like, because I guess they live with David and Dee. And then he's basically like, he's all like, "I'm gonna come up," and they're like, "Don't come up." And then he's acting like he's trying to climb up the balcony,
Like fire escape thing, yeah.
and then
Well, stop. Sorry, real
Wait,
quick.
wait.
First he calls,
He did.
and she's like, "Hello." He's like, and she's like,
yeah.
but he's like trying to get in. She thinks he's doing something lewd.
So then he's trying to climb up and can't climb. He can't climb up. He's not able to do it. And then he's like, "Can you open the door for me?" You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's hilarious. Then he goes up. Of course, he's talking to Liz and trying to make it better. He like takes her flowers, but earlier that day, he bought flowers for his mom, and since like she hung up on him, he took those same flowers to Liz, and he's over there, and he's trying to like tell her like, "I'll change, things will get better," and then he's like, "I got these for you," and then it says basically like, to mom.
Yeah, the
It's
note
like,
was still in the flowers.
No,
And
bro.
she saw it immediately.
Oh no, bro, you fucked up.
Nah,
Yeah, Liz is not stupid.
Yeah.
And like he blew it so many times. And out of desperation, he just kept on trying, but kept on making it worse. Because like when the reservations fell through, he was like, well, we could just go to the Winchester.
She hangs up.
Default.
The very pub that like she was like, I never want to go back there again. I could see myself just like going there every day and then dying and wondering what I did with my life. And then he's like, let's just go to the Winchester. It's like, no,
Bro,
Shaun,
no.
Yeah.
stop.
Didn't the flowers? They were like they literally said "mom" on them.
Just the
Yeah.
most
He's like, "Oh, it's a joke
attempt.
because
Oh,
you
yeah,
were
yeah,
like
it's a
you
joke
called
because
me."
of the other day,
It's
yeah.
like it's for,
It's
yeah.
funny.
It's hilarious.
So, what was I gonna? Where were we at? So, they,
So
they
so
left the
basically
Winchester-
they're breaking up.
they're breaking.
Right. So then the cooler scenes, or these are awesome scenes, but then they go from Winchester, or no, they go from the breakup, and then he goes to the Winchester, basically to like drink his sorrows away. You know what I'm saying?
With
yeah,
Ed.
That's where the
Him and Ed.
night starts.
With Ed.
right.
That's when
right.
everything starts going zombie-ish,
Yeah.
right? Because it's like everything that happens. So there's a girl and a guy making out outside.
Yeah.
And we'll get back to that later. You know what I'm saying? So it's like basically like he's breakup and these songs, and they're like kind of freaking out. He's crying it out, but they're drinking as much as possible. They start saying some funny stories. If you haven't watched it, this is like a funny part of the movie. He kind of starts talking about everybody's story.
Yeah.
Super hilarious.
Yeah, yeah.
Snake
he's
hips.
describing
Snake hips.
Snake hips, and the what was it? The
The coccicidal maniac,
coccicidal maniac. That's right.
ex-porn star.
Yeah. Yeah, Snake hips was good.
So he's talking stories, and you know they're trying to make Shaun feel better, and then they leave, you know, drunk, you know,
they're wasted.
they're pissed drunk,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and then
Pissed.
so that same scene where that guy and that girl were making out outside, now she's like biting his neck off, and they look over and they're so drunk they're just like they're still making out, you know, that's what they're thinking.
Making out all night long.
Start singing White Lines.
And then so basically they're walking and they're singing white lines, and then they're like, and then they start like so basically they're like humming it, and then the zombies
supposed to say bass.
the zombies doing what is a feature.
Yeah.
And then that's when you're like, okay, there's zombies. There's something different,
Yeah.
right? Something happening.
Yeah.
They go to the house.
The house scene's so freaking funny.
It's great.
I'm sorry.
I'm listening to
They-
electro.
They immediately come home and just throw on some vinyls, and they're
And
just
then there's jamming.
they're jamming.
Want a battle?
and yeah. And then Shaun,
And they're scratching.
Shaun goes in for some deadly scratches. These scratches are just
Dude,
they're
he's
so
killing.
hard.
And they're so loud.
And then the roommate
Oh my
Pete
God.
comes out and it's just like, it's 4 a.m. and he just throws. The funny part is he throws the disc out and he's like, that was the second vinyl I ever bought. And it was just like, dude, you were just wrecking it on your turntable a second ago. I don't think you cared that much about it.
Yeah, he's definitely ripping on it. He's all like, it's 4 a.m. in the morning. And he's like, but it's Saturday. He's like, it's Sunday. And I have work. And then he's all like, because somebody called off because they're sick. And he's like, what happened to your wrist? He's like, some crackhead tried to bite me or something like
Yeah,
that.
he tried to play it off.
Yeah.
Because that was like that was
Started to unfold.
your
It
little
started
bite.
unfolding, right? Now we're becoming like zombies. They're biting people. And then he's all like, and then he leaves away. And then he's all like, what does he say? He's all like, turn this hip hop, or like,
It's not hip hop.
no, he's
It's
like,
electro.
Calls it something
He
wrong.
like, turn this hip hop off. He's like, it's not hip hop, it's electro, prick.
And then
he's like, in the morning he's dead or something like that.
he said-
Yeah.
Next time I see him, he's dead.
Yeah, which
He
was
was.
foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing.
Because the next time he sees him,
He was dead.
he's definitely not alive.
It was like that. I think it was earlier when Shaun's leaving and the kid's kicking the ball, and he's like, "Hey," he said the same
Oh,
thing.
he
He's
did the
like,
same thing
"You're
to him.
dead,"
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
he was the next
so
day.
everything is like that first sequence. So that when he's like walking to the store, he walks to the store again after that night. But everybody's a zombie or everybody's running away. But everything's the same. Like there's no
Yep.
difference. So it's like the kid, the guy running, like all that stuff is exactly the same characters, exactly the same walk. but it just goes from non-zombie to zombie
Yeah.
scenario.
There's
Oh,
just
yeah, the
little
bum with the
differences.
change. He's like, I don't have anything. I don't
I-
have enough money for that guy.
And it's hard to pick up the change because everybody was acting like a zombie already.
Yes.
Yeah, that was like
Like-
kind of some interesting commentary. I felt
Yeah,
like,
like
especially for
everybody's a zombie
a
already.
20-year-old movie. It's just like everybody's kind of a zombie, anyways. Everybody's just doing the little. Everyone's
Going through the
to their
motions.
jobs. Everyone's just doing their little
Yeah.
daily things that they're doing, and
Imagine-
it's not that much different from just being a regular zombie.
Imagine them looking at us now,
I
just on our
know.
phone.
Yeah.
They didn't
This
even
was
have
Yeah.
good
before
phones
the
back
eras of
then.
phones.
Yes,
They had
that's
like
why.
flip
It
phones.
was barely like they had phones, but it was just probably the little Nokia peanut phones, you know. Yeah, you gotta hit 5 times.
Oh, 0 for the space.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like the little ringtones that are like a MIDI ringtone.
the
Playing
same
Snake
thing.
and all that.
Yeah. So it's like,
Those phones.
imagine them seeing us now, like making that movie. They're like, oh, now we're really zombies.
It's the same thing. Everyone's
We're
just,
fucking zombies.
Everyone's got their
bro.
face glued into a phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was a cool dichotomy there, where they show everybody pre-zombie, pre-Z Day, I guess, as it were.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, it's like, wow, it's not much different. It's there's small differences, but
They're biting people now.
Shaun is kind of oblivious to all of it. He opens the fridge in the market, and there's bloody handprints
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
it. He's just
He's
like, whatever,
hungover.
gets his thing.
And he
Very
slips on
alert.
blood too. He's like,
He's-
ooh.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. He goes and he notices the attendant is in there. He's just like, I'm a little short, but whatever. See ya, dude.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
small town
He
stuff.
goes there every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's hungover, and so is Ed, and he's been sent to the store to get a cornetto.
That's right. That's
For
where it is.
Ed.
That's why he
Cornetto.
makes the
A
second
strawberry.
the second return to the shop.
Before we get into that really quick, I need you guys' opinion because I read something.
Yeah.
When he goes into the store and you kind of see some shuffling in the back.
Is
it's
that
it's
Nelson?
kind of it is Nelson, but so
Is he fighting zombies
what they were
off?
saying is that like this thing I read was like the theory or whatever is that he was being way too cautious that for a zombie, right? And you look, he was kind of like moving slowly.
Yeah, he wasn't
so,
advancing or anything.
So like the theory or whatever is that he was alive and fine, but no shit's going to hell, so he hid in the back. But when
That
he
makes
sees
sense.
Shaun come in oblivious to all this shit, he's like, oh, everything's fine. And then he goes back out, and you see him later, a zombie,
He's
holding his hand out for the fucking change.
Yeah.
So the thing is like, oh, it's cool, and then that's when he gets
Yeah,
that.
he
And it kind
wasn't
of makes sense when you think about it.
Yeah. No,
Right?
that's,
Yeah.
no, that's totally logistic. It's interesting because like a lot of those people that were human at one point during that big long play shot, you'll eventually see all those guys, Nelson included,
Yeah.
as people that have turned into zombies.
But we don't call them zombies.
Don't call them zombies though.
Don't say the Z word.
Don't say the Z word.
Yeah.
So then he's walking back, and then they realize that there's
There's a girl in the
girl
yard, right?
outside.
Yeah.
Mary.
She's drunk.
Mary.
It's
Yeah.
a drunk girl in the yard.
And that's
She's
the
so-
beginning
she's so
of my
drunk.
favorite scene.
She's so drunk.
There's a girl in the garden.
They're like, look at her. She's so drunk. So yeah, we have a zombie girl or a Z girl in the back, and she's basically a Z. So yeah, so basically what's happening is she's she's just knocked out. So they're like trying to get her attention. They don't
Yeah.
know she's a Z girl yet.
Yeah, they don't know anything
So they're
yet.
throwing stuff at her, and then she starts walking, and it's like she comes up, and he's like, "Oh look, she's trying to kiss you."
She wants to cuddle.
Oh, yeah,
she wants to cuddle.
She wants to cuddle.
It's just like, what?
And then he's like, "Get off of me!" He's like, seriously, get off of me! And he pushes her, and she falls back into basically like a bar, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then it like stabs her in the stomach, and she like gets up, and there's like a hole in her stomach.
It just cores
Such a
her.
great scene.
It just cores her.
Yeah.
That was a cool shot too, because when she stands up, the camera, you can see Shaun's face on the other side of the hole.
that's
It's
so
just like,
cool.
oh, that's rad. That's a cool
Yeah.
shot.
So that's the introduction for zombie, like actual zombies. Like we saw, and they know what they are now. They know
Yeah.
that it's like
Yeah.
something different. Not necessarily. I don't think they know exactly what they are, but they know that it's not a human. And then they go inside and they're watching the news, and that's when they get told how to kill a zombie.
That's true.
Well, you
Go
gonna
ahead. I know where
say
you're
it?
going with this.
The news reports.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
It's like the news reports. Did you catch it? Like they're describing what's going on through all the different channels.
Oh, yeah. It forms a sentence.
Yeah.
And the Smith song is in
The
between
Smith
them.
song.
Panic on the streets of London.
Dude,
That was great.
And every time they try to find out, like, it's like, oh, it was caused by, and then they'll skip the channel or get interrupted.
Yeah.
Like,
What
Yeah,
else?
we never find out what caused it.
no,
They-
man.
or nobody ever theorizes.
Yeah.
what
Which
is
caused
kinda
it.
better
Well,
that way, I think.
that's what they want you to do. They don't want you to know exactly
not
where
really
it's coming
important.
from.
No,
it's like
yeah.
there's so and they mention all the type of different zombies from all the movies, basically,
Yeah.
right? So they don't really tell you exactly what it was. They kind of like tell you like it could be all of these. You play with it in your own head, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
figure out what you like, you know, like you may like the 28 Days Later zombies, or you may like the Day of the Dead zombies, you know what I'm saying? But it's like it kind of gives you the option to like where is the zombie like the zombie stuff or the zombie like diseases coming from,
Right.
and it's like it's up to you, like you play
Yeah.
with it, you know. So
Yeah.
I thought that was cool that they didn't really give you a good explanation, but they kind of let you like envision every situation.
Yeah, it's not the important part of the movie.
Exactly.
I like
at
it better
all.
that way.
I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
the movie at that point becomes like a tutorial on how not to kill a zombie
The
because
records.
Oh, dude.
I
That whole
think
scene was cracking
that's
me
my
up.
favorite part of the movie is all the terrible ways that they try to kill these zombies that are so ineffective.
Yeah.
Well, the first thing that Ed does as soon as Mary gets cored or whatever, and she gets up, starts coming after Shaun again. Ed, I think, immediately he gets like a disposable camera, and he's like, I need to take a picture.
Oh, yeah.
He takes a picture. He's just like, come on, help me. He's like, Shaun's kind of laughing too, because he's like,
That's right. And then isn't the bigger dude shows up after that, and that's when they unleash the
yeah,
records.
and that's when
Yeah,
they're like,
get
okay,
serious.
we need to
Yeah.
start getting stuff to like nail these dudes, because the zombies are so slow.
They
that
could do
they're
anything.
They have time
There's
enough
time.
to figure stuff out. So they're
Day of the Dead type of
and,
zombies.
yeah. I think they're too lazy to get the key for the shed at first.
Yeah,
and
so
they're
they-
like, let's just we got
A
some
laundry
records.
basket of
Yeah.
But they're being all
soft,
like
small things.
discriminatory on it. They're like, oh, that's the Batman soundtrack. That's fine. That's Purple Rain.
That
Not
cracks
that
me
one.
up.
That was a great
There was
scene.
only 2 bands that gave them clearance to show the artwork. The
Really?
first one was New Order, because when he showed Blue Monday,
Yeah,
it
right.
was,
Yeah.
it was the
Alright.
New Order single.
And they did not throw New Order.
No, they didn't.
Smart.
They threw the Batman soundtrack. That was hilarious. But the only other artwork they showed was a Sade album.
Yeah.
And
Ah.
apparently they had to call all the artists to make sure to clear it. And apparently Sade was just like, oh, that's like, because they told her, like, we're going to use your record to throw it at a zombie.
So it can be a weapon.
And she was just like, yes, please do it. Apparently she was super cool. Which, I don't know. I think that's kind of endearing.
Yeah.
Chuck
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
shit.
they called her, and
That's
she was
dope.
just like excited to hear,
Yeah.
like, yeah, please throw it. Like, do it.
Yeah.
I like stories like that where
Yeah.
like you need to do something for legal reasons and the person's like excited to do it,
Yeah.
not just like a business deal. They're
Right,
like, yeah, I
right,
want to be a
right,
part of
right,
this. Like that, yeah, that's dope.
Yeah. So they're throwing all the records. They're throwing just this basket of junk. It was just doing nothing. It just
Kitchen
looked like-
appliances and shit.
yeah. Half of them were
They
missing.
literally
Like
throw a
some
toaster.
forks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them did more damage than others, but most of them didn't do anything. They finally get to the shed. They get the key open. They open the shed up, and that's where they have like the shovel, I think.
The
What-
actual
Shovel
weapons.
and then like a
The
paddle.
cricket.
Yeah.
The
Oh, the
cricket.
cricket, yeah,
yeah.
bat.
cricket bat,
What do they
yeah.
call it?
Right,
Paddle
you're right.
bat?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's when they actually wind up, and it takes forever because
Yeah.
they're still trying to figure it out.
And it's just
That
like,
was kind of.
caca.
It was funny in its own right because they're sitting here. You don't even see it. The zombie's off screen. They knock it down. It's on the floor, and they're just taking turns smashing it with their shovel and cricket paddle. And it's just
Blood
like
comes up.
It's just like they're just beating this thing's ass. And
At one
it's
point, you think they're
nothing.
gonna stop, and they keep going. And then they
Yeah.
get blood on
It's
them. They're like,
comical.
dude, wow, that's effective.
So then they go back inside after they kill the first 2 zombies.
But they don't close the door.
They do not close the door.
That's Sean's fault.
Shaun doesn't.
Shaun does not.
So then the next step is gonna be having a game plan of what to do next.
Yeah.
And then Sean's coming up with all these different ideas, right? First, they got to go pick up the mom, right? Oh no,
Go to Liz's.
no.
Oh, the mom calls.
They talk to he calls. Somebody calls. Yeah, the mom
Yeah.
calls, And then basically like I think Shaun calls his mom.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah. So he calls his mom, and then they're like, "Have you been bitten or anything?" She's like, no, but Philip has."
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
And then he's like, "Okay, thank God."
Who is his stepdad? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
there was some men and they were bitey.
They were-
I thought that was so
Trying to get in the
cute.
house.
Such a cute way to say that.
I don't wanna be a bother.
Bitey.
So then he's like, "Okay, we go." We kill Phil.
Yeah, that's the first thing. They're just like, don't
Step
even try to
one.
save him. Just kill him.
Yeah, we kill Philip. We get my mom. We go to Liz's. Why do we go to Liz's? Because I love her, right? Basically. He still loves her. So then he goes, carry her. They go, but where do they go?
Winchester.
They go to the Winchester.
To the Winchester.
Right? So, well, first they go to their house, but there's like, they said a reason why they don't want to go to their house, but then they're like, they look at each other like, Winchester.
Oh,
So-
because Ed wants to be able to smoke.
Oh, that's what it was.
He
Be
wants to be able to
comfortable.
He
smoke.
just wanted to be a
Know where the
comfortable scumbag,
exits
dude.
are, which I think is actually very smart to know where all the exits are.
That's
Yes.
true.
And he
even
wants to
though
be
it's
able to smoke.
a big old
to be able to
bunch
smoke.
of
Good
glass
call.
windows.
That brought it up. That's
And
exactly
he
why
says
they
it like
went.
twice. Like
Yeah.
it's so important that he be able to smoke
Gotta smoke inside.
wherever they
bro.
end up.
So yeah, so then that's the plan, and they get-
Sorry, Philip.
they
Every time they replay the little scene that cracks me up, they have to smash him in the head and say, "Sorry, Philip."
they play like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, it's like
It's
3 or 4
fucking
Yeah.
hilarious.
times.
But yeah, so then they go and then they steal the car, right? Or whose car is it? It's
It's
Pete.
Pete's.
It's Pete's
car.
car.
The
Ooh.
roommate. Yeah, they
The
steal
one
Pete's
who
car.
wound up being
Yeah,
a zombie.
they discovered
Well, they
he's
found
the
him in the shower.
Yeah, so he goes and he's
only naked zombie.
Yes. He's basically like washing up, or Shaun's washing up, and then he hears like something, and then he looks, and then through the mirror, he sees Pete.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then,
yeah.
he's a zombie, and then he says something to him. What does he say? He says something. He's like
forgot.
you want to come or something like that, or
Something dismissive. And
yeah,
he leaves,
something like
Yeah.
grab his car. He won't mind.
you want to come along or something like that, and then he takes off. He goes
Yeah.
downstairs, and he's like, I bet Pete's gonna be mad that or I bet he's gonna be upset that I'm driving his car. He's like, he's not gonna mind.
He's
You know what I'm
good.
saying? He's good.
And that shot was kind of an homage to
Werewolf in
the
London.
American Werewolf
Werewolf
in
in
London,
London.
kind of almost a side-by-side
Yeah,
shot
yeah.
where you see you see Shaun in the mirror, and then it
And then
pans
it
over
pans
just
over.
enough, and you see Pete right there. Oh, he's there too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought that was
Oh,
cool.
That was very, very
yeah.
cool.
I didn't
There's
catch
a
that.
cool little shot.
Good call, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of little.
telling
Another werewolf
ya.
in another American Werewolf in London. Little tribute thing was the grocery store was called Landis
yeah.
Groceries
Landis
or
Groceries.
something.
Yep.
John Landis, the director.
It's where Mary worked.
Yeah,
In the
Yeah,
beginning,
the
she's
first-
a cashier.
the
right?
first
So-
zombie.
Something about Mary, right? So
It's also a great movie.
no, something about Mary that a lot of people don't know is the Mary, the character. It's they actually made a comic book basically about how she became a zombie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I heard about this.
No
yeah.
way.
So it's like basically like it starts off her regular day and how like her day goes until she becomes a zombie, and that's like the only story they made off of like a side character.
Yeah, no kidding.
So they actually made a comic book.
That's
of that.
dope.
That's
That is
cool.
cool.
Yeah, and the comic book is called Something About Mary.
Oh.
That's
Oh.
funny.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
Well, little factoids.
Yeah.
I
This
like
movie's
it.
full
Love
of
it.
them. This movie
Dude,
is
it's
full of so
fun.
many different little.
Give the retail workers some love.
Yeah. for
Yeah.
sure.
yeah.
So
So
they do wind up going to the mom's house.
the mom's house.
I think that's where we're at, right?
They
yes.
have a wild ride to the mom's house.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Ed's driving like a
Ed
maniac.
gives
Hit
me
that
a heart
guy.
attack.
We go
Every
Oh
time.
back.
yeah, that's.
Oh yeah,
that's
they
actually
run
funny.
over the guy.
They hit the dude, and they're so relieved when they just look and see
Like,
his
oh, thank
blue
God.
eyes.
He's all
his
fucked
legs,
up. Like,
his
all right.
legs like put on backwards. It's just mangled
And
they're just
crossed
like,
over.
Oh, thank God.
We didn't kill him. All right. That's all right.
So before that, they're on the phone with Barbara, which is the mom, and then they go, "We're coming to get you, Barbara."
Oh, that's another. That's
Uh-huh.
another
The mom.
throwback
Yeah.
to,
Yep.
Yeah.
what was that?
Living
Donna?
Dead.
Living Dead.
Living
And
Dead.
Night of the Living Dead. Yeah.
And then basically like they're coming to get you, Barbara, and then he's like, "We're coming to get you, Barbara."
Yeah.
So that's kind of like a cool homage to that.
Yeah,
you know?
that
So,
one's cool.
Like I said, there's so many of them. That's the cool part about it.
I want to do the voice.
Yeah.
Go for it.
We're coming to get you, Barbara.
That's like right.
Dang it.
It's so good. It's like right in the beginning of the movie too, in the
Yeah.
graveyard.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
So that happens. They go. They get him. the Philip is slowly becoming a zombie. But then they go and they get, figure it out. They take his car. He has, what kind of car does he have?
Jaguar.
Jaguar.
Ed crashes theirs.
Ed is so stoked to drive that thing. As soon as he sees it,
He intentionally crashes the red car.
I pranged it. He
It
just
was parked.
smashes his car.
That was on
parked
purpose.
So now
just so
that's,
that he could drive the Jaguar.
Yeah.
that's the only car they have. So he has to drive the Jaguar.
And in the meantime,
Whoops.
Philip gets jacked in the neck as they're going out to the car. I think that's what sealed his fate. Because up until then, he was bitten, but Shaun sneaks up on him and is about to smash him with the cricket bat. And he's like, sorry, Philip. He's like, sorry for what?
What'd
And he's
you
just
do
watching
now?
TV. Yeah.
Not bringing the flowers.
He's still a ball buster
Yeah,
even when
yeah.
he's dying.
But yeah, when they actually go to leave, that's when they kind of get ambushed by the zombies. Philip gets jacked in the neck. And the funny thing is he's like, give me the keys, Philip. And he's like, you're not driving. He's bleeding from the neck. And he's like, you're not driving my Jaguar. But he gives up the keys. Eventually, somehow, Ed gets the keys. He's, I've already adjusted the seat. He's like, Ed gets the keys, gets in the car. Everybody piles in. And
And then they go get Liz.
they're on their way to go get Liz.
They go get Liz, and then same thing. He's like, open the door, and then they're like, no, we're not gonna open the door. And then he climbs, but this time
He makes it.
makes it all the way up, and he actually like convinces them that that he has a plan. What's the plan? The Winchester. So
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the point where Shaun is like turning things around.
Yes.
He's like being more assertive. He's like,
you have
actually,
a plan. Like they even
Yeah.
what you have a plan. So
it's kind of cool. You kind of actually see the actual.
Like the evolution, because he's
the
like, it's not
evolution
about
of
us.
Silver.
Like, this is about this. Like he's
about
like telling her
survival.
now. He's like, we gotta do this. It's not
Yeah.
about our relationship.
He steps
Shit.
up in a big way. I think that's cool. It's his transformation.
yes. So then as they're leaving her house, slowly like Philip is turning basically into a zombie, and then he has this heartbreaking basically
Aw, that was a
talk.
sweet moment.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, like don't like this is supposed to be a comedy horror.
Yeah.
Why
It was
am
a
I
tearjerker.
teared
A
up,
little
dude? Like
piece, a little
honestly,
heart.
like that the way he talked to him, I was like, God damn it! You know what I'm saying? Like you never had I wanted to be your father. I wanted to be the guy that helped you. You know what I'm saying? Basically, like he wanted to be the guy that like basically he could look up to as a father figure. And it's like, oh, bro. And then he's like, I always knew you had it in you and stuff like that. And then he turns it and then he dies.
Yeah.
And then he's
Philip's
like,
gone.
yeah, Philip's he's like, stop the car.
Where'd he go?
Stop the car. He's like, Philip's
Mom's
gone.
such a
The
bitch.
mom's like,
Such a ditch.
yeah, the mom's like, where'd he go? And he's like, he's dead. And he's like, no, he's not. And he looks over and he's a zombie. And then basically they're all trying to get out of the car, but it's
Ed almost kills
Philip
everyone.
has a child locks on it. So so Ed bounces out of the car and just leaves.
and just leaves
And is
everybody
just
locked
staring
in.
at Shaun with
Oh my
Philip in the
gosh.
back, and I think who else is in the back? I think the mom's in the back
Well,
too.
no, it was
No,
just just Philip because the mom was like
Mom was in the front
crying.
seat.
Oh,
No,
the
it
two
was
friends.
Dee
Liz's
and-
two
yeah.
friends.
I thought we were out of the car.
Dee and Daniel, right? Or David.
Yeah.
Oh, they had to cram in, yeah, because
They
she
had
didn't
to
have a
cram
car.
in.
She just had a
Yeah.
permit.
They all took the.
You're
Yeah,
right.
that's right.
That's
You
right.
have a car? Yeah, I have a permit. No, I don't have a car.
I like
It's
her.
David.
It's like, it's David. You're right.
Oh,
David.
Ed.
And then,
I hate David. We'll get into that later.
Oh, dude, yeah.
What does she call him? She calls
He's
him
kind
like
of a
Durf,
downer.
He is.
Durf or something
Daffs.
like Daffs.
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 She sucks.
So yeah, basically now instead we have Philip in the car, so they close the car and they're like now they don't have a car because Philip's in it. They don't want to drive with a zombie and they can't get him out. So
There's
they're
a
like,
good part there where they're like, everything that was once your husband is gone, and he goes as a zombie and goes and turns off the loud music.
Looking right at
They're
him.
just like, all right, let's just get out of here.
That's so good, dude. So good.
So now they're on this path to like get to the Winchester, but they gotta go on foot, right? So now they're going on foot, and then they meet basically Yvette again.
Yvonne.
Oh,
yeah, she's got her whole
Yvonne.
crew now.
Yvonne.
Yeah.
And all the
I remember that
doppelgangers.
because it rhymed with Sean, and I thought their crews were mirrored, and it was
Yeah.
like Yvonne, Sean. I was like, oh, that's
Okay.
like
How
they put that
kind
together?
of
All
mirrored
right.
crews.
So yeah, so basically Yvonne, they meet his girl or this girl, his friend, that's named Yvonne, and basically they're crossing paths, and then they're like, where are you going? And he's like, the Winchester. She's like, the Winchester. Like,
Yeah.
like judging them. And basically, like, they have every single character the same, but flipped in some sort of way, right?
It's like a Bizarro World version of the same exact
same crew.
They
Yeah.
have the
Yep.
what we're assuming is just the big loser in the at the back. You know, it looks like someone's mom is there. It looks like there's some kind of it's the
See Martin Freeman in there?
Martin Freeman
yeah.
is like the
He's like the second in command or
significant
it'd
whatever.
be like
other.
the David character,
Yeah.
but kind of
Yeah.
not really.
Yeah, that's a good
maybe.
call.
I don't know.
No, I think he's supposed to be the Liz character.
Oh, because it'd be
yeah, 'cause
flip
Shaun
flops,
and Liz
Bizarro.
flipped,
Yeah.
right.
Bizarro
So
Liz.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah, and then
that's
there's
probably
like a
right.
dorky guy in glasses.
Yeah.
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 But I
Listen
thought
to
that was
us.
cool.
They got the dork, the loser.
Yeah,
What a
we're all
stupid
hating on
crew.
everybody.
But I mean, in that
They're
sense,
lovable losers.
in
they're
that
great. We
sense,
love
I
them.
would have been like,
No hate.
with our powers combined, you know what I'm saying? I would have been like, dude,
Heart.
let's come up with seriously.
Captain.
I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, let's come up with a game plan. Let's do
Yeah,
this together.
it was
like,
a bad move to split
you guys
up.
are alive, we're alive. Let's figure something out. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's what I would have done, or tried to come up with.
Yeah, they should have.
You know, like I'm like, dude, it's like there's more chances of us like surviving together than like, you know, small groups. I mean, maybe. I
maybe
guess.
Yeah.
maybe each of the groups thought the other group was just loser. Either just
Yeah.
like,
They-
nah,
yeah,
y'all ain't
they-
gonna
That's
make
what
it.
I
Oh, you're going to
think.
the
The
Winchester?
Winchester?
Nah, I'm good, dude.
Like,
Yeah,
nah,
everything
that's a
went
terrible
so
plan.
well.
You're gonna die there.
Definitely not the best plan, right? So now they're going to the Winchester on foot, and basically like he like goes up these little stairs, these like baby like stairs. He looks up
That
and
was
he's
cute.
like, "Is it clear?" And he's like, "No."
Oh, the
Yeah, it
pool
was
slide. Yeah,
full
yeah.
of people.
That was such
Full
a
of
British
zombies.
moment.
Yes.
A British comedy moment.
Yeah, the little itty bitty steps.
I'm going to take a look around.
Really quick, sorry. Did you guys catch Snake Hips again on the way
Was
to
he
the bar?
being eaten?
He was being eaten.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you caught this, but in the
Oh,
beginning
yeah.
of the movie, Ed is like Snake Hips, always surrounded by women, and he's being eaten by 4 women zombies.
No.
What?
Yeah,
Damn
yeah.
it.
I was like,
so many
oh.
Easter eggs.
Lo-
That's so
brilliant.
cool.
Snake Hips, man.
That's
Snake
crazy.
Hips. That's such a funny name too. It's just
So
like-
sorry, going to the Winchester, get the pajama zombie staked, and then they're gonna act like a zombie.
Yeah, so not yet. So right now they're going, and Barbara sees basically like a house of like somebody she used to know.
Yeah.
And then she like
got caught behind a
she
little bit.
basically
Right.
like opens because she's like clueless of what's happening.
Yeah,
I think she's in a
Unfortunately.
daze.
She's in denial, I
She's
think.
just kind of out of it.
And
Well, she
basically,
just saw her husband.
Yeah.
Get smoked.
and basically
Barbara.
like she goes to the house of one of her old friends that they're passing by, and she like opens and he like she screams, and then basically like Shaun goes over there, and then basically has to fight this zombie. His mom's on the ground, and basically they get this basically like what is it
Some
called?
kind of pool toy, or it's not a pool toy, but like
Like
I
a
don't know what
tether
it was.
ball.
It-
Tether ball. It's
pole?
a
Oh,
it's
is
a
that
tether
what it
ball.
was?
Yeah,
It was
tether
like
ball.
Oh,
but the
yeah.
tether ball was like the size of a grapefruit.
And then he like goes like this, and like, he hits him in the face, and they're like, "No, stab him, stab
You
him,
gotta
stab
give
him."
stabbies, dude.
And
That
then
part was
basically
so
like
freaking
he
funny.
stabs him through the onto a tree. Basically,
yeah, he like pins him onto a
Yeah.
tree.
pins him onto a tree, and then basically like they're coming up with the idea, and it's like boom. The next scene is them trying to act like zombies.
Yeah.
Because so Dee's trying to teach them how to act like zombies because that's the only way they think they're gonna survive. Because there's so many zombies on the other side. They're like, well, if we act like zombies, we'll be good,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
And it works.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
I just want to acknowledge that really funny fence jumping scene.
Oh, yeah,
When he
that was
falls
good,
over?
too.
It lasts like 2 seconds, but I love it
Jumps,
because
front rolls.
he's trying. Oh, that was when he jumped over onto
Oh,
the
you're
trampoline
talking-
and did a
He tries to
flip.
jump over the little
and,
fence,
like, to
and
get
the
to his mom.
fence collapses
He's like-
immediately.
he's
Just-
like-
He's trying to
shit.
show
he's
off.
trying to show because
Yeah.
he's like you've never taken a shortcut to David or whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
and then he like tries to jump and he like falls through the fence, through the
Yeah,
wooden
yeah.
fence. Hilarious.
The whole fence falls over. Has
Oh.
anybody ever jumped over a fence?
Many times.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah,
Oh
dude.
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Many times.
No, you haven't, dude. You're like, where's
like
there
at
a way
least 7
around?
times.
Is there a way around?
Can I take
Where's the gate?
All right.
It's locked. I'll come back
I'll walk
later.
around.
I'm
It's like,
going
it's
home.
20 minutes.
How long's this
Fine.
fence?
It's fine.
I know she was asking me, have you ever jumped the fence? I'm like, yeah. Like, what are you talking about? She's like, oh, okay.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't respond like that.
How many fences you jump?
At least 2.
How big were the fences?
Like 4-footers.
They're like, there was a
Solid.
little doggy fences to keep them out.
The baby
dude. Yeah, I
gates?
hopped one, dude.
I mean, I did it very well.
Yeah.
I know.
Better than Shaun, I
Sure you
imagine.
did.
Yeah, it didn't fall over on me.
So
You gotta pick the right
They're
fence.
pretending to be zombies. They're heading to the Winchester. It's actually working.
It's working.
They're moving they're moving through the crowd.
Okay,
No one's
something about
picking
that
up on
scene
the stuff.
pisses me off though.
What?
They're like walking side by side in a straight line, a wall of
Oh, for
people.
sure.
And when people are walking like that out in the real world and I encounter them, it makes me so mad.
Oh, when they, dude.
Turns
Wall
into a
of
zombie,
people.
turns you into a
They
zombie.
could have done like a 2-layer thing. I'm sorry, it's just a
Or
little
they
thing,
could
but
have
like
separated.
yeah, they
and
could have
just
broken it up a little bit. Would have been more natural in my opinion, but it worked out.
They're annoying even in the apocalypse.
It was
Yeah,
just
yeah,
very
yeah. I
freaking
get it.
annoying to me to see
100%.
that.
So
Yeah,
fast forward, right?
Anyway.
We're going into the Winchester. Like they're
they're at the front.
They're at the front. They can't open the door. David's like panicking. He throws a trash can into the window. He's like, "Bro,
Fucking Dave.
there's a way in through the back. What are
Yeah.
you doing?" And then basically
All the zombies look
all
at
the
him.
zombies are like locked in onto them, right? Like I think Ed's phone rings and he's on
Oh,
the phone and
yeah.
he's like, "Dude, what
Yeah.
the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah, that was the first
Basically.
time we kind of saw
Yeah.
Shaun get upset at his friend
For
too.
sure.
Like, come on, dude. Like
Like I
help
always
me
try
out.
to vouch for
Yeah.
you. Like you're gonna fuck up like this in this crazy moment
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Rightfully so.
He like
Yeah.
laid into him, and it was like he played it straight. Like
He
it was like a
should've.
serious fucking. Like,
Yeah.
You fuck up everything you
Bad
touch.
timing.
Yeah, and then out of nowhere he's all like, "Look," he's like, "What are we gonna do?" And he's like, "Follow me, zombies!" And then he basically runs to the zombies. Zombies chase him off. They go inside, and they're basically in there trying to be patient because Shaun's not there yet, and he said he'll be back. He promised. Basically what's happening is they're just waiting there. They're waiting there. They're waiting there. They're freaking out. David's like basically like talking shit about Shaun. And then
Yeah.
like he's like, "What are we gonna do? Eat these snacks?" And then boom, Shaun catches it.
The
and he's
hog
all like,
lumps.
Yup. And then he's like,
Pig snacks.
and he's like starts eating them or whatever. And then yeah, it's when basically like everything's back to like some sort of normalcy. They're like back to the game plan. But you know what they don't know is that the zombies basically like followed him there. So their zombies are in the back door. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it kind of starts getting a little bit funky, a little bit fuzzy. And it really that's basically the last scene that leads to the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's basically like, you know, there's already zombies inside, which is the owner of the Winchester. I'm not sure his name.
I don't remember.
No.
I forget.
Was
too.
it the guy they claimed was in the mafia or
Yes.
something?
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
North
Yeah,
London
he's in
Mafia.
there. Oh, but they also find out that the mom has been bit.
Oh, yeah. So right there.
Oh yeah.
Did they find out before or after? I think they find out afterwards.
Well, Diane found out, and then Shaun was like, "What's going on?" And he walked over because
Yeah.
she's like, "Why you keep holding your?" And she pulled the gauze out of her arm.
No, Liz did. Liz.
Was it? Oh, it was Liz. Yeah. My
so,
bad.
So they do kill the first zombie, right? They
Yeah.
They beat him up with the song from Queen.
Oh yeah.
Don't stop me
yeah.
now.
Kill the queen! Kill the queen!
They
He's like,
do.
what?
They rotate
The
around him
music.
and smack him.
That was the funniest part too, because it's like
Yeah.
it was in rhythm to the
Yeah.
song. They're
Yeah.
beating this thing's ass.
And it was meant to be that way.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was
So-
perfect.
And even the people on the sidelines are like nodding their heads, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought that was just like a chef's kiss. I'm biased
Yeah.
because that's my favorite Queen song too.
Oh,
but
it's
it's just
such a good song.
everything is like just set up amazingly with that whole scene to the rhythm. And then in the
Oh,
bar,
and the lights.
the
Breaker switch. Oh my god.
Fucking
Like,
Dave, man.
That's
I'm telling
like
you.
rule number 1 during the zombie apocalypse. You don't light up your home or wherever you're hiding. You don't light it up and you don't make a lot of sound.
And Dave's out there
Yeah.
doing a friggin' shows. Like, we got Queen on inside.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So jukebox.
So then after that scenario, Liz is like, do you want to come with me? Because they're like trying to figure out how the zombies are getting a little bit more aggressive on the outside.
Yeah.
And then they're like trying to figure stuff out. And then Liz basically like, "Barbara, come with me," or whatever. And then she's like, "Okay." And then she's like bleeding like crazy, like from her wrist. That's an homage to another movie. I forgot what it was.
Is it?
Though. Yeah.
I believe
that
it.
that same bite is exactly the same bite from a different movie, and it's like looks exactly the same.
Dang.
They like try to like highlight it a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
But so they do that, and then they basically like Shaun comes, and then she's kind of like dying, right?
Yeah.
And then basically like another like soppy kind of moment.
Yeah.
Basically his mom's dying, and then He starts crying,
Yeah.
you know, that she like tells him like, oh, thank you. I never told you. Because she finds the flowers eventually. They were in the trash and somehow she ends up finding those same flowers.
Oh,
Yeah. And then that he got her in the beginning. And then basically she's like, I never thanked you for those flowers. And then he's like crying. But I guess those tears were like real tears. Like he like reenacted it like if it was his mom dying.
Yeah.
So he was like really crying. Like I think like him and Ed were like really into the crying moment, and it's like real tears. Like they like try to like make it feel like his mom was actually dying. So they like were real tears. Like he really felt that moment. And then basically like she dies, and then he's like crying, and then basically David comes up with the shotgun right away. It wasn't even, you're like almost like, damn, that was such a like epic moment or like sentimental moment, and then out of nowhere like you're like, it makes you forget about the whole little sequence that just happened. It happened so fast. And I was like, whoa, this motherfucker's really, it makes you hate him a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
David's kind of the prick.
He
for sure.
sees that she's sick and not even dead yet, and he's getting the gun
sure.
ready.
Yeah.
For sure.
He's just jumping on it. He
And
does
then-
not care.
But then he just kind of.
That's when everything kind of like breaks loose. And then basically he's like, what Shaun tells him is like, dude, like, what the hell are you talking about? Stop being a fucking douchebag. Like, you always love Liz, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then basically like D or Deanne or whatever, she's like, we all know that. She's like, I came to terms with it. You know, I learned how to live with it. So she's like, shut the hell up. And he's like, well, I'm leaving. And she's like, let's go. And then D or whatever, she's all like, I'm not going with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're here for the same reasons. He had a plan. We didn't have nothing.
Yeah.
We came with him because
It's the best plan
it's
we
the
had.
best plan we
It's better
had.
than
There was
nothing.
no other plan. And then basically what happens after that is like, he's like, so you need to he basically like, get your shit together. And he's like, sorry, Dan. And then he's all like, I'm not the one you should be saying sorry to. And then out of nowhere, the zombies, oh, no. What happens? No, I fucked that up. Because before that, like, David tries to shoot him.
oh yeah, but it
But
doesn't
something-
go
it doesn't
off.
go off.
It doesn't go
something.
off.
Yeah.
There was no more rounds.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
so it
just
looks
a
like a
one-round
total
thing. Like a
asshole.
Yeah,
haul.
so he like tries to
Yeah.
shoot literally Shaun, and then he's all like, I gotta go. And then he's all like, then they pull him.
The
like
zombies just gank him.
Yeah.
gang him.
He backs
Yeah.
up into a window.
And then Diane, like it's weird because it's like the way they ripped his body is from another movie.
Yeah, that one, I forget which one it was from.
That
but
was
it
Day of the Dead.
Was
the
it?
original
Yeah,
one,
the same thing. Just like ripped you from the gut kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and then basically like everybody has like a limb. Diane runs into the zombies.
They pull on his legs to try to pull
Yeah.
him back, and then the
it's
limbs
like
come free.
come free. And then Diane has a leg, and then she runs off. Side note, Diane running off, there's a story behind afterwards.
I read that too.
She survives. She goes into a tree, and she lives off of his leg.
Off the leg.
That's how she survives, by eating the meat of the leg.
Yeah, when they were planning like the sequel, I think that was the plan.
But
They just went a different direction.
But yeah, so they do keep in touch though. She keeps in touch with Liz and Shaun via letter. That's the story.
That's
They still
funny.
keep in touch.
That's dope.
That's
You know,
funny.
earlier she was like, when she's like telling him like, I know you're in love with Liz. I was there to pick up the pieces, but then she's like holding his fucking legs later.
That's fucking hilarious. I didn't
Everything
realize
in that movie. I'm telling you.
Oh my
You
god!
gotta watch it 10 times to catch everything. It's
Yeah,
so
it
it's
really is
crazy.
a ton of
And
stuff
even
in the movie.
even then, bro,
It's
like I'm
still
still
hard to-
learning more stuff.
Yeah, like just talking now, it's like, oh man, I didn't even catch that. I didn't catch that.
Right? Yeah, for sure.
So then they're like, I don't know if this happens before. I'm maybe messing it up. Basically, like they're shooting the gun, the Winchester gun, right?
Mhm.
They're shooting it, and basically they're telling. Now this is before they die, but basically one thing that I wanted to go back on is they're shooting the gun, or Shaun's shooting the gun, and basically like it's telling them right side, blah blah, reload.
Oh, that was from the beginning.
And that's from the beginning, because in the beginning when they're playing video games, Shaun was telling Ed directions like top right, reload, top left, or whatever.
He
whatever.
was just trying to help him in
He
that
was trying to help him
shooter.
in first person shooter game, but when he was shooting, he was telling him exactly the same
Yeah,
directions.
yeah.
So that's kind of like an homage to the beginning of the movie,
That's
which
dope.
is kind of
The
dope.
other callback too,
A
when
callback, yeah.
when Ed gets I mean, there's no. It's he
Yeah.
gets smoked. He's on his deathbed, and he's like, "Sorry, Shaun."
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. Even at the end of the movie,
Yeah.
they're even when
Still
they're like
cracking
dying,
jokes.
they're still cracking jokes.
Yeah.
Like they're still
It's like,
buddies. You know what
sorry
I'm
for
saying?
farting, dude. You're gonna
Yeah.
smell it.
Yeah. So basically, that happens, right? Like they go underneath, and they're basically like gonna leave, but Ed's like, dude, just leave me behind, man.
Yeah.
I'll fight off the zombies. Like, you know, I'll keep you guys. I'll protect you guys as much as I can till I'm done. And then basically they go up, and then what's her name? Yvonne comes, and then the military comes as
military
well.
starts
So
coming,
Yvonne and the
clear
military
house.
comes, clear house. They're shooting zombies and everything
Yeah.
like that. And then they get saved. And then the next scene is basically them at home at Shaun's house or whatever, and they're watching TV. And the
Shaun and
funniest
Liz.
shows, yeah, like they're watching after zombie or after Z Day, right? Like after Z Day, and basically they're watching like all these new like shows that came up, like what is it, Zombaid, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
Zombaid, and then they're watching like these like funny shows
Yeah.
and like
oh, the kid who like defended his family by like killing everybody.
10-year-old.
Yeah, that one was funny. That boy just like massacred a bunch of people.
They did like the same thing at the end with all the sentences like pieced together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
As
they
they're
were like,
flipping
It's
through the
really
channels.
creative.
It was due to a large amount of, and like cut to a different channel.
and then it's like that same guy in the beginning. He's like, I just told him to like hit the, or what is it, like hit the brain or
Can't believe I
Or-
said that
or-
on television.
yeah.
Cut off the head
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah,
damage
yeah,
the
that's what it
brain.
was.
Damage the brain. He's like, I just said, just damage the brain. He's like, and it just, I don't know why I said that, and it just worked or something.
Never
and I was
imagined
like,
I'd have to
"That's
say that."
funny." So, and then that's when it goes, and then he basically goes to a scene. He's like, I'm gonna go to the shed basically to Liz, and basically Shaun has a new like zombie friend and chained up, you know what I'm saying? But they're still buddies at the end,
Yeah.
So that makes it like, damn, they're still homies and
Yeah,
shit.
well, that
It's
was
Ed.
It was a callback to when Pete and him were arguing,
Yeah.
and Pete was like, "Why don't you go live in the shed, you
Yeah.
animal?" And
Yeah.
that's
Lives in
what
the shed
winds
now.
up happening. It's
It's funny. He goes to like bite Shaun, but he treats him like a like a pretty well behaved dog. Like no, he's like,
Oh,
"Ugh."
yeah,
and then he goes back to like
gives
playing
him the
games.
controller.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then they play they play another Queen song, the You're My Best
You're
Friend
my
or whatever.
best friend. Yeah,
82 minutes. That they pack so much in. I think it's just
Yeah.
like one of the most perfectly paced movies with
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
that it has.
Honestly, it's a fun, exciting, funny, tearjerker, fucking rom-com, bro comedy type of movie.
Hits a lot of notes.
It's a lot of notes.
Yeah,
man.
for
So,
sure. Great pick, Richie.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank
that was
you.
a good
Amazing.
one. I mean, as far as horror movie goes, it's not like the scariest movie.
No.
But it
No.
it's got so many. I think Nick, when he's talking about how much is packed into it, it's really it's not a dense movie because it's kind of easy to explain it, but there is a lot of stuff packed into there.
There's so
that-
much, yeah.
That is just for them. And I think the fact that it shows their personality, the fact that it shows like what kind of people they are, they put a lot of themselves into this movie, and I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that's why it's stood the test of time, at least up until this point.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they did like on the BBC, they on some kind of network there, they did like a poll for the best movies of all time. Number 1 was like Shawshank Redemption. Number two was Shaun of the Dead. It was just like, whoa, y'all Brits
Yes.
are crazy about this thing. But hey, it's a great movie.
It
It, really
works,
is.
It is
Highly
great.
rewatchable.
Okay, so I have something. I have a little quiz, not quiz, but I guess one word that would describe each person. So I'm gonna say a name of basically the 5 main
Word
characters,
association.
and you have to say one word.
All right, hell yeah.
All right. So let's go with the first person. Dion.
Sweet.
One word.
Resourceful.
Bubbly.
Probably. Mine's more than one word, but it's one word. Background girl.
A
Right?
little bit. A little bit. She kind of gets walked over, unfortunately.
That's
Yeah.
exactly it. She
Her
got-
moments are good
sorry,
though.
baby.
Her moments are really
When she's
good.
teaching the
But she
workshop on
got-
how to be a zombie, it's amazing.
Yeah, there she
That-
shines a little bit.
Yeah.
She's
Literally not. You could tell she's not the main character.
Yeah.
basically. Like she's not even like there's nothing about her. Nothing about her that just kind of creates. Okay,
Yeah.
so now David.
Scumbag.
Dork.
Asshole.
Cuck.
Asshole. Chinese asshole.
Such a cuck. That guy is such a cuck.
Dude,
Cuck
you
is
are
fun to
not
say.
lying. Somebody does.
All right, I'm not going to go
Cuck,
first
cuck,
on this
cuck.
one.
All right, Liz.
Resilient.
Ugh, over it.
Fair.
Fair.
Yeah.
I'll steal your word.
She's fair. I mean,
She
it's
Very
is.
fair.
She's not
You know what?
asking unreasonable things.
No,
She's
not
been
at
very
all.
tolerant.
Yeah, she knows what she wants, and he's not even giving her the bare minimum.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So she's kind of like over it in a sense, So
I fucking meant tolerant. Damn it. That's what I meant.
Tolerant.
I said I didn't mean resilient. I'm like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. All right. Anyways.
all right. So Ed.
Lazy.
He's a loser.
Bro.
Hilarious.
Yeah, he's by
Damn.
far the funniest.
You got
dude.
the best answer.
Yeah.
All right. So now,
You go first on this one then.
God damn it,
Oh, okay.
Shaun.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, come back to me. That one's hard.
Complacent.
Redemption.
That's a good one. Complacent is good. Trying.
Yeah.
He is trying.
Eventually trying.
Mine was different. Trier.
He's a trying tryer. That's so funny.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well done.
But it's true. It's true. Like he's
trying,
He's
yeah.
the only one with like a real story arc
Yeah.
in that. No one else. Everyone else
Yeah.
kind of stays the same the
Yeah.
whole movie.
Well, you notice too, like I think one reason why it's paced so well, and this just dawned on me, is that it's never from like the perspective of somebody else. It's only Shaun. Like it's never like what Liz is doing for part of her day.
Yeah.
It's like it's only from Shaun, and
It's
he
almost a POV of him.
yeah, totally. Like he's recapping.
You're
like,
right, huh?
Go to Liz, go to Mom's, watch it all blow over at the Winchester. But it's
that's a
all
good
from him,
observation.
you know. So I'm like
Yeah.
that's a big part, and I think that's why it's like easy to retell
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
pretty linear, you know.
Yeah, it
and
is.
and he's
Yeah.
the only one, unfortunately. And I mean, I have these an active imagination. Like he's the only one who has real family members in the game,
Yeah.
and he ends up losing them. So it makes it like so personal.
That's a good. That's a good observation.
Yeah, you're true.
Yeah.
Or you're right. You're
Yeah,
true.
I'm true. So true. Okay, I have a
True
question. Okay, so this I've been thinking about since I was a child. If you were in a zombie apocalypse, what would be your weapon of choice to fight zombies with?
Can we choose two?
You can pick up to 2,
Nice.
because I have picked 2.
Okay, I have one question for your question.
Okay.
What kind of zombie is it?
Okay, so
It's-
that's a good
Oh.
question.
We were asking.
Let's do Shaun of the Dead zombies.
Okay, cool.
Shaun of the Dead zombies.
A machete.
Machete's clutch. I
Yeah.
think that was one of
That's
mine.
I
Mine,
would have picked
machete.
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 Also, I had to chat GPT it. There are different sizes of sledgehammer.
Oh.
Because I was like, if there's only one size and it's like super gigantic, I'm not strong enough to lift that thing, but I want that thing. It comes in a smaller size. So I'd have a machete and a medium-sized sledgehammer.
So,
No, it's not a hammer.
That's what I
No,
said.
it's not a
She's like,
hammer.
I want a mini sledgehammer.
No.
I was like, a hammer.
No,
A mallet.
All right, Chucky.
the head is. No, that's. Never mind.
It's a good weapon.
Never
though.
mind.
It's a great weapon.
machete's the way, bro.
No.
I said machete and like a baseball bat.
But it has to be a sharp machete, bro. I'm taking
Yes.
those dull ass like.
Yes.
It's like
I don't want it to be like 40 times. I'm like,
Or
what?
gas
get-
yourself out
Or
on
get
one head.
stuck and then you have to like get it off.
Oh,
That's like a
That'd be the
nightmare.
worst.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna ask. So, is this a scenario where like we're picking up and running, or do I have time to modify my weapon?
You can modify.
Yeah, what do you
Yeah.
modify?
Oh
Do it.
man, I want that baseball bat wrapped in like, I don't know, like nails and barbed wire.
Yeah,
you know?
that's
or
a good
nails
one.
sticking through it wrapped in barbed wire.
I'd be afraid of that catching.
Oh, the nails would be a problem
Ooh,
actually.
yeah.
Just barbed wire, because I feel like you smash and go real quick.
It'll slice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's a good one.
yeah.
I
Good
would, I would be gunning for legs though. I wouldn't even be trying to kill him. If you get
Oh,
him,
dude, good point.
legs,
Knees. Yeah.
like not decapitate him, but like
But then they can still
incapacitate
Nancy
him.
So like
Kerrigan.
and just
yeah.
laters.
So like,
Dude, I'm
what's
like-
the
I'm doing like-
weapon?
Like machete or samurai sword. Like just like
This,
Oh,
yeah,
dude.
something
It's
super
like
short.
7 or
Yeah. Because it couldn't be noisy. Like you couldn't do like a chainsaw. You couldn't do a gun.
Oh, you do a chainsaw.
Because then
be
the
a-
zombies
be
will
Ash.
come for you.
That's true.
You'll attract
it's a lot of
zombies.
noise.
Yeah.
That's why.
But as long as I have forever like gas on that
Yeah.
shit, like,
That's true. That's true.
Oh, so fun.
You're like a battery Black and Decker chainsaw.
Yeah.
Charge that bitch for
Electric
2
ones.
hours.
Solar powered chainsaw.
Yeah, but it's a different
and a
story.
medium size
really
and a
long-
medium sized sledgehammer.
a really long extension cord, just like
Yeah.
I honestly, I said like
Ported.
an umbrella, like a tough umbrella. You just pop it on them and like, get out of here. You just push them out of the way.
Oh, and it has
That
like
could
the
work,
knife
and open it up.
coming out of
Hell
the
yeah.
end, like the
Like
penguin.
the penguin.
Yeah.
Hypnotize them.
That actually is pretty good. Yeah, the whole combo.
But like if it's a fast moving 28 days later zombie, I don't think, I don't know. That like changes things.
Yeah.
I would just want like a hoverboard and get the hell out or something, you know?
I just get like a fucking
A scooter.
a freaking
Vespa.
just a gun, like a Tommy
Yeah.
gun, or like a freaking
Yeah,
like.
flamethrower is too long.
What
'Cause
if
they'll
they
still-
run at you and catch you on
Yeah, they could,
fire?
Yeah, that's exactly
true.
it.
That's
They're
not
on
gonna
fire. They go. Yeah, you're fucked. A zombie running at you on fire.
That's even scarier, dude.
Well, that changes the game up because I think it's more like we're trying to run now instead of fight them.
that's
When
you're
they're
not
slow, it's
fighting
like,
too many.
Fuck you.
The slow ones are, there's more options.
Maybe some grenades.
Grenades.
Damn, you crazy.
You have to like have them low because honestly, like you throw the grenade, you're running. They're running after you. That grenade's already behind.
Yeah, they're already past
They
it.
stuff it in its mouth,
Oof.
right?
That's personal.
Honestly, what you do is have one of those those like getting a big hamster ball kind of thing and just mash your way through the crowd.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It's like the dude from
Just run 'em
Flaming
down.
Lips, Wayne Coyne or whatever, just getting a little hamster ball.
You get on
just,
top of them like you're like it's a whole bunch of them like crowd surfing.
Yeah,
just
dude,
roll
just
across.
roll over. See you
Next,
later,
get to the
dude.
next county.
Not
Like, that'd be,
bad.
yeah.
Laters.
All right, next question. Where would you hide out? What would be like a good vantage point?
Damn.
Obviously, less populated areas because there's less zombies. You know what I mean? So, Richie's hat. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
We're all
Yeah.
coming here, Richie.
Yeah,
Sorry.
let's do it.
So I always thought I'm gonna steal it from a movie, a mall. I thought
Yeah.
I thought that the original
Oh,
Dawn of the Dead had
Yeah,
it.
Dawn of the
Dead.
Dead.
They get in there, they clear it out, and then you got. But that mall in Dawn of the Dead, dude, is like they had a bar in there. There was like a different level,
Yeah.
right?
That's true.
But I think a mall would be
There's
cool.
food,
Clothes, food.
There's cool
like,
stuff.
Yeah, I try to get into a
Sporting
mall
goods
somehow.
store. There's all the weapons, baseball bats, golf
Great
clubs. all
point.
that
Yeah,
stuff.
sporting goods. Great point. Yeah.
But you don't think it's too big? Like not enough like safety points? Like not enough.
You
like,
would need to.
Yeah.
You would need to like
Hold
the
up
exit
somewhere.
thing. Yeah.
Kind of
It's
like
like
in
what
Dawn,
Ed
where they like
said.
held up in the attic area or whatever, and then
Mhm.
came down for resources, and then
Yes,
went back
you
and
have to
hid
do
kind of
that.
thing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because that's what the guards were doing or whatever. Or not the guards, but the
Which ones?
in Dawn of the Dead. Isn't that what? Where were they?
So
Where
the-
were they hanging out?
They were like in the like a storage area or something, and then they got all fucked up when the like motorcycle guys came in. You know what?
That's what I was thinking of.
I would probably change my answer later
Okay.
because I'm like that's too much attention.
My answer is an Amazon distribution center.
Oh,
What? Dude,
You freaking.
That's funny.
that's a
Yeah.
good idea.
That's actually not bad.
You hit up AI.
You have to open
get-
everything up though to see what it is. What is it?
which is fantastic. That's like Christmas every day.
AI helped you with that one, huh?
Oh, it'd be so fun.
Yeah, she's just
No,
ChatGPTing
I've been
all the
thinking
answers.
this through for years. For years. Amazon distribution center.
That's a fantastic idea. It's
That is great.
better than the mall. Damn,
But the mall would be much funner. Much more.
like a cool mall
Funner.
from like the '90s,
The
the
90s.
ice
Yeah.
rink and stuff in there.
Yeah. An indoor double decker mall.
What?
That
Now we're
would be
talking.
so cool.
Are you guys excited for all the new movies coming out right now?
I am.
There's a lot of new shows, new movies. There's things happening right now.
Yeah.
Some of them I
Companion.
am, and some of them I'm always a little skeptical.
You have to be nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Because like no matter what, even if it gets hype, like it might not be up to like your expectations of a movie, right? Like we were talking about Nosferatu, right? I thought Nosferatu was awesome, by the way, but it was just not my favorite type of horror movie, right? But it was still good. But when people were talking about it, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be like crazy. I'm into different type. I'm a more like slasher, kind of like campy, kind of like like that kind of movie, right? Like kind of like gory kind of movie.
Yeah.
And this was definitely Nosferatu was just beautifully done, beautifully made.
It's a slow burn though.
You know,
Yeah.
it's just different
A
type of
vibe.
movies,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's like you know, when somebody is like, that's a fucking 11, I'm like, that's an 8. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Yeah.
it's like different expectations for these type of movies, but it's just different, so many different genres in the horror community. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, I agree with you, because when somebody's like, it's going to be this, I'm like, oh, I hope it's what I expect it to be and not what different, right? And I'm traditionalist too, you know, so it's like the original, you know, and then I see this motherfucker with a mustache. I'm like, come on, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, what, is he going to have a mullet too? Like, you know what I'm saying? So that changes everything a little bit. So it's just little things like that I'm like,
different styles. Like, that's kind of how I honestly feel about them remaking The Faculty.
I don't want them to do
I just
that.
heard
The
about
Faculty
this.
was so
liked that
awesome.
movie.
it's a great movie.
And it had
thought
great
was really
actors.
good.
Cool movie.
Like, I'm not necessarily not a fan of remakes, but I think they should remake shitty movies. Don't
Yes.
remake something that's already good. It's like, unless it's like, okay, Nosferatu, sure, that movie, it hasn't. There's not a bunch of iterations of it, you know. There's like there's like 3 in 100 years. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
20s, 70s. Yeah.
That's true.
exactly.
That's fair.
But I mean,
yeah, we
I
don't
know,
need
it's
all
just
these
a
remakes.
Fine line, you know. I just would want it to be good, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know how to put that into a more.
It's kind of like not even necessarily remakes, but just even like part 2s, right? Like the sequels and stuff like that. Like for Shaun of the Dead, they were gonna do a sequel and they ended up not doing it. Thankfully, you know
I'm
what
glad they
saying?
did.
So I'm
That's
glad
a
they
great
didn't.
standalone.
It's sometimes you just need standalone movies. Don't fucking touch it. Just keep on replaying it every, like, you know, different versions of it every few years. Not even remaking it, just like HD version or 4K version. You know, that kind of scenario. Like extra scenes that we never showed because we didn't think people would like them. Just here you go. You know, stuff like that. I think is fun, but no necessarily no remake or nothing like that. Sometimes you don't need that. You know, like Shaun of the Dead, they were gonna make it from
Dust Till Shaun.
From Dust Till Shaun.
Yeah.
That's what's going to be the remake, and glad they didn't. But did you guys know the original name that they were supposed to go with for Shaun of the Dead? It wasn't supposed to be Shaun of the Dead. It was
It was like Tea Time with
so
the Dead or something
it's
like
like
that.
it's like yeah. Instead of being Shaun of the Dead, it was
funny.
Tea Time
Did I write it
for the
down?
Dead.
kidding.
Yeah, of the Dead.
I'm not necessarily like.
Tea Time of the Dead.
Oh,
Tea Time of
really?
the
Yeah.
Dead. Yeah.
See, I think there's certain franchises that actually lend themselves to like sequels and stuff like
sure.
that. Like the new Final Destination, like that one. It's like it's different cast
It's
every
different,
time.
everything.
I'm okay with that.
I'm
That's
okay with
fine.
that.
The premise is still there, so you can kind of be creative in its own way.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
It's a whole different movie.
Yeah.
You know, so
You can it can do that where it's still carrying on the same theme of the movie. But
it's just every once in a while, like, see, like Shaun of the Dead, it's like 20 years old. Like, you don't want to come up with a sequel now.
No.
But then again, 28 days later, 28 weeks later, and then forever now, 28 years later,
I'm crossing my fingers. I'm a little worried about
Dude,
it.
I'm not nervous because, man, they haven't failed me yet. They've done 2 of them.
That's true.
I'm like,
They're
bro,
good.
like, they're good. They do
They're
it well.
good. They're
And
good.
honestly, it's perfectly made. Like, it's 28 days later, 28 weeks later, 28 years later. You know how much things can happen in 28 years?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
It goes on. You know what I'm saying?
I
So
feel like it's necessary.
it's going to be a whole different thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole
That's
movie.
true.
Same concepts, different movie.
Yeah.
I don't think they
Yeah.
waited like 15, 20 years to make a shitty movie. You know what I mean? I think they probably went over a lot of iterations of what should we do with the story, the script,
Right.
what'll piss off the fans, you know, stuff. I think they wait that long. It better be good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
I
then
feel like-
no more faith.
We riot.
Why do it? unless it's gonna be good?
yeah.
Yeah.
If it ain't good, we riot. You know? So.
Yeah.
And it's
So-
Danny Boyle,
take it
right?
to
Like
a
the
street.
original guy is doing it. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not
it's
like-
Danny Boyle
Yeah.
still too? Okay. all
But
right.
that helps actually versus like when
Oh,
they
yeah.
sell off the franchise to
his vision.
somebody.
Like I'll definitely take it personally if it sucks because that movie is probably one of the most important horror movies to me.
For sure.
Like
I agree.
one of the most important movies I've ever seen in my life,
sure.
to be perfectly honest.
There was a little
But I
reference
think it
in
will
Shaun
be
of the-
good. Yeah,
Sorry.
I think it's gonna be good.
I was just going to say there was a little reference to 28 Days Later in Shaun of the Dead
At
too.
the
I
end,
think,
right?
too, at the
Yeah.
end where the news reporter's like,
The rage monkey
the
virus.
rage-infected monkeys. It's just
Yeah.
like,
That's what we were talking
Oh
about.
yeah, that's how it got kicked
It's
off.
like-
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's another thing. It's like it could be that type of zombie, not necessarily because we know those are fast zombies, but still, it's like it doesn't let you know which kind of zombie they actually are. It could be
Yeah.
anything.
That's true.
It could be any type of zombie. It could be any type of infection. It's just zombies.
It's just peace.
Well, good job, gang. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
Great pick.
Great.
Great pick.
That was
I
great.
Hell yeah.
think
Yes.
are we ready to play a little paper rock shiz?
Let's do
All
it.
right.
All
So
right.
Richie won last time. It was Shaun of the Dead. That was a great pick. So this time we all have our movies about what if we win, in case
Yep.
we win, what we're gonna pick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, me too. Last time I didn't. I was gonna freeball it.
Go right off the
I had
cuff,
no
right?
idea. Exactly.
I'm ready.
I did so, but it went well.
Yeah,
It
you
went
picked
great.
I'm ready.
Look, we're
All right. So how are we gonna do this?
You want to do Richie and Paolo?
We can do that.
Me and Hillary?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay,
You want to go first? So on 3, 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3.
forfeit.
Oh, what? Oh,
Just that. I wanted to act like I was gonna play and just give him the win. Like I
Yeah.
want him to be able to pick the movie. I picked the last 2 movies,
that's true.
right? So it's like he wins by default.
All right,
Boom.
I'll take it. I'll take that cheap win. All right, go ahead, guys.
What the heck?
No, now it's you two, and then I play the winner, y'all.
Wow, that was such an easy win for you.
Hey,
They're
he's
all
a
easy.
man
They're
like
all
that,
easy,
bro.
All right, that's cool. Okay.
On 3, right? 1, 2, 3. Damn.
Oh,
Okay, so
okay.
that was me and Nick.
Shit.
All right, here
That
we
was
go.
That was
Good.
close.
On
That was
three.
good.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
All right, Nick.
We're back to Nick.
All
What's it
right.
gonna be?
I want to take it back to 1988 and go to April Fool's Day.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
If you guys,
1988.
yeah, the original one.
All right. I
Original
don't think
one.
I've
I never
seen that.
watched the original.
Oh no!
No.
Oh,
All right, cool.
yeah.
I
all right.
like it when it's one that nobody we haven't seen. So
Yeah,
it's
I have
like-
not seen that one.
I like starting a fresh one. Cool.
Yeah.
April
And-
Fool's Day.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's
Sounds
good.
awesome.
All right, sick.
Well, we hope that everybody's enjoying this podcast because
Hell yeah.
we think that there's so many different types of horror, and that means we think that even if you're not a fan of horror, there is horror for you out
Yeah.
there.
Amen.
For
It
sure.
could
You know-
be funny. It could be love. It could be like a rom-com. It could. There's so much good movies out there.
Yeah.
Just be a ghost story that's not too scary.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what to watch, watch Shaun of the Dead because it's got everything in it.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks.
Well,
for
until next time, thanks for sticking around.
Thanks, all.
We're having
Honestly,
fun doing this.
Also, follow us on Instagram and on X as well. Drop us a note. Send us a message. We'd love to talk to you guys. Make sure you guys comment on our videos and stuff like that. We'll definitely chat it up with you guys if you guys have any stories, any ideas, or just want to chat it up about the movie, even Shaun of the Dead. Just drop us a line, and we'd love to chat with you guys and share some more horror stuff with everybody out there.
Hell yeah.
Hell
All right.
yeah.
Till next time.
Peace.
Till next time.